Oko shebi and then G le kushile kwa sa. Shebi, fly by your man there. It is late. I never.
We no go sit down the look. Make them go rape all our girls. Everybody, we rise up. We no fighting, we just up. No be so. No be so. We go to jail every day. People just go. Full family was wiped by Fulanis. So Jackie boy used to call them terrorists. We touch them the Kanu, you go cause war. We touch it on the bobo, you go cause war. Makana Prugo no Nanga Wanelua. And I will find for another. It's not the time we go change for them. Change for them, tell them we know this of when you go pull your book, Apagoya. They might not say, I buy your book. Igbo people have been marginalized. IPOB have been brutalized. We no go sit on the
purchase your tracks today.
Make them come kill all of us. We no go sit on the look. If they come take our life, we no go sit on the look. Make them stop the house like us. We no go sit on the look. Make them come rape all our girls.
Purchase your tracks today.
Instead of up, they take us down. Instead of right, they take us left. Buru the change. They promise to change, but we don't see the change. Why you not let BIAFRA go? Are you not tired of killing them? There's not the time we go tender for them. Tender for them, tell them we don't be zombie. We don't go sit down there, look. Make them go kill all of us. We don't go sit down there, look. Make them go kill all of us. We don't go sit down there, look. Make them stop the house like us. We don't go sit down there, look. Make them go rape all our girls.
This is a person.
The fashion label Fendi began trending on Twitter after Ifeanyi Ejiofor, counsel to NNamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, raised the alarm on Thursday that the separatist leader has not been allowed to change clothes since he was arrested and detained in the custody of the Department of State Services. The lawyer alleged that Kanu has been subjected to harsh, degrading and inhumane treatment in the DSS custody, and that prisoners who visit Kanu are subsequently detained as punishment for exchanging pleasantries with the IPOB leader. The lawyer also claimed that Kanu is confined to a very tiny cell, 23 hours of the day, without access to sunlight and any social interactions whatsoever, and believes the punishment is aimed at inflicting extreme emotional and mental distress on Kanu, who has been seen wearing the same Fendi apparel during his court appearances. I mean, there were so many allegations. Ifeanyi Ejiofor and the other lawyers of NNamdi Kanu alleged the maltreatment of NNamdi Kanu in DSS custody is completely appalling and unfair. I'm not even sure if this is how they treat prisoners that are undergoing trial, Tundu, at this point. So many things like his glasses, medication, he's not allowed to sleep on a pillow, people are not allowed to talk to him. And this outfit, I actually thought that he wanted to just wear it to his court appearance. But now everyone on Twitter is talking about the outfit. Even some people are making mockery, saying that maybe they actually even thought that it was Fendi sponsoring the lawsuit. But that's on a lighter note. But I mean, can you believe all of the allegations, Tundu Abiola?
You know, Nigerians and our gallows humor. When you don't want to cry, you just have to try and make yourself laugh in the face of all kinds of horrors. You know, I have experience, first-hand experience of this, and all I can say for NNamdi Kanu is that I hope he doesn't go through this for 4 years like my father did.
Yes.
4 long years. That was his reality. And the next thing that's going to happen is, because these reports come out and make the federal government look bad, the next thing is that they could stop people from seeing him at all, and he'll just be there all by himself, no access even to a doctor, even to a lawyer, certainly no family members like what we went through as a family. And I saw NNamdi Kanu during his court appearance, you know, trying to put a brave face on things. You know, men and their pride, he doesn't want to show. I guess he doesn't want to even sort of weaken the people who really believe in him and support him. He's trying to put a brave face on it, trying to look normal. But what he's going through is the exact opposite of normal, which is why I've sat here on a few occasions and said people should be very careful with their utterances, with their actions, so that they do not get this man killed. It has happened before. It must never happen again. And it's just very sad that here we are in 2021, after people, well, my dad died for democracy. We're still having this conversation in 2021 of somebody being treated so appallingly, like they're kind of a serial killer. Under what circumstances should somebody be treated like this?
I was going to ask.
So I'm hoping that the DSS will come out with a statement and completely deny these accusations and prove that the accusations are completely false and that he is being allowed a change of clothes. I mean, really. This is, you know, there's all kinds. We think of, I don't know, Guantanamo Bay and, you know, water torture and, you know, the loud music blaring as forms of torture. But then solitary confinement is a form of torture.
It is.
Putting somebody in a tiny cell for 23 hours is a form of torture. And it's just really sickening. We're still having this conversation in this country. Over to the DSS. I really do hope that they actually deny this and that denial is true.
Yes, we're waiting for that. Rufai.
I mean, when you look at all the accounts, let's not forget that NNamdi Kanu has got rights in this country. And those rights, please, for the sake of peace in this country, must be enforced. You can't keep a man without change of clothes for how many months now? The times he has appeared in court, keeps wearing one same clothes. Let him get a change of clothes. If he needs to see his doctors, let him see his doctors. If he needs to talk to his lawyers, let him talk to his lawyers. Because it is a gory experience, being in solitary confinement. My first vivid understanding of this was through the works of Wole Soyinka, The Man Died, his prison memoirs. It is not a good place to be at all. Another experience of this was through the works of A Day in the Life of Denzel Ivanovic. This was another prison account of how gory and debilitating and excruciatingly painful the experience of prison is. The psychological trauma for life is something he'll deal with. People never get out of it. They get panic attacks all their lives. So please, every right possible should be accorded to him. But as I always repeat, how did we get here? We got here because the sufferings of the people were looked away from. We got here because of marginalization. And today, the roster goes on. It is NNamdi Kanu today, and I ask, who is it tomorrow? At some point, if Isaac Adakaboro was to tell you his experience, he'll say similar things. But when the nation went to war in the 60s, Adakaboro fought on the side of the government. Why do we keep having people that go against the state and they get some legitimacy? the state has to be fair for all.
Absolutely.
In all of this, we keep pleading, if possible, the state has to be fair for all. I'm not saying that anything is a utopia, that if the state starts being fair now, we will not have people agitate. But in all of this, if the state is fair, a lot of people will say, yes, there's a level of fairness. But can we truly say over the years, like in the case of Kensaro, Wiwa and the Ogoni 9, the state was fair? We can't keep doing this to ourselves.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. They are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, Ideal heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna praise us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. Wave your flag, wave your flag, wave your flag, wave your flag. Oh yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll on the blood, couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abagana Zobunigwe was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my vein. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is a nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is a nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home.
If they tell you that somebody is not being allowed access to prayer materials to practice his faith, it's a constitutional matter. You should take it serious. You don't just say, allow him practice his faith. You should allow him have access to the material with which he practices his faith. But when they tell that somebody is confined to a small 2x2 and he doesn't see sunlight, spends almost 24 hours, he's not allowed to mix with anybody, you should take it serious also. And then when they tell you that from what Barrister Joffo said, that legal processes are brought to the man and you don't allow him to read them. This is a constitutional matter. It's not a favor. Because the Constitution is very clear that an accused must have access to all the facilities that is required to defend himself. And remember here that Mazi NNamdi is still an accused, has not been convicted. So this is supposed to be a prosecution, not a persecution. And that is why I thought, as a human rights lawyer, I felt a bit disappointed that the seriousness that I had expected to be attached to these issues are not being attached. And these applications are compiled, and they say they have almost about 15 applications. Well, what are we coming here to be doing every day when these issues are not being taken? And I say this because you are toying with somebody's life. I'm not talking about his health issues, access to his physics. Is there something that are hiding there? Why not allow his private medical doctor to come and also see him? So these things amounts to disrespect to the Constitution. This is infuriating. This is inciting. This is unfair. And that's why I feel so bad seeing how these things are going on. And I'm saying that, like I said before, it's supposed to be a prosecution. It's not a persecution. And this perception keeps sending message out there that most of these actions are propelled by hate. So if a man cannot be tried transparently with access to all facilities that is required for him to prove his case, then this can turn to become a kangaroo arrangement. Why not just, like I always say, why not send him to Daura and then convict him and try him from there? So this man deserves, transparent trial, deserves access to facilities with which to face his trial. And like I said before, I thought by now, I heard the Attorney General saying he has not been convicted, so pardon does not arise. I don't want to say whether he read his law in Jigawa, but let me say this. The Attorney General knows that under Section 174, subsection 1C, that the state has powers to internullate. You discontinue this in seconds. So if you want a political solution, you discontinue it. You grant him bail. It's supposed to be in police custody, not in DSS. And then, like I said before, granting that bail or discontinuing the charge by virtue of Section 174 will open room for genuine platform for negotiations and discussions. These issues must be discussed. If you like, try and jail him 100 times. Those issues, as long as they're not discussed, will keep coming up. Another leader will rise. So this is not the solution, whatever they're trying to do here. So I strongly believe that Justice Nyako, with the experience she has garnered at the bench, that she will do justice to this matter and treat with all seriousness all those fundamental issues. He deserves justice because he's an accused, not yet convicted. And if possible, the president should listen to the voice of wisdom from our elders, from the international community, and take the political solution part. First, he has all the powers. When he say suddenly the president that doesn't respect rule of law is saying that he will not intervene in judicial matter. When he used to arrest people like us and other people, does he respect rule of law? So these things, these comments are unnecessary. What he should do is that under the presidential system, there is provision for the Attorney General to internullate, discontinue this trial, and then go back to the negotiation table and address these issues. This will help to reduce the tension rising in the East. It's very important. Let the president relax the hate with which he's running the country, and things will get better. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, fellow BIAFRAs. Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you to this wonderful evening program. And I decided to play some of these clips because when we come to say it, it will seem as if we are making propaganda. They will say, IPOB, they are making propaganda, now their propaganda be their work. But you've seen journalists, you've seen lawyers on a neutral ground speaking their mind, saying things the way it is. So it is important. We have played some of these clips, though, in the past, but it's good that we continue to replay these clips to refresh the mind of our people, refresh the mind of the world, people around the world, because people around the world are also following the issues that are rising, the ill treatment of the leader of IPOB, Mazi NNamdi Kanu, in DSS custody. In fact, from the onset, he was extraordinarily rendition from Kenya. The process of bringing him back to the zoo, to that dead zoo, the process was illegal in the first place. It didn't go through normal legal procedures. When you arrest somebody who you claim have committed an offense in an international arena outside the jurisdiction what is required is for you to go through the legal system of that country. So the legal system will be able to give you the permission to either return him back to where he has issues to face, or they ask you that they cannot release him based on proven that he cannot be fairly treated or that he has not committed any crime. But they went ahead, jumped all the protocols, kidnapped him using the local Kenyan military force, special military squad, bribed their way, provided a private jet, which we have not even been able. We are still looking for the owner of that private jet, which will come definitely later. We already getting clue of who provided that private jet that brought Mazi NNamdi Kanu from Kenya. We already are gathering information, and all these things were done even while the whole world was shouting that this process that you took was illegal, that this guy is supposed to face extradition process, that you took illegal procedures in bringing him back to Nigeria. You went ahead again, put him in detention without even trial. Every day you come to court, you postpone the case, you continue to turn around. Tomorrow you lock his defense lawyers outside the court. You lock them outside the court, you adjourn the case, then you keep playing hanky-panky with the mind of the people. And you even refuse. Because under normal condition, when investigation is over, what do? You transfer the person from the detention, from the solitary confinement, to a facility where he can have access. But in this case, they don't even want to follow these processes. They want to keep torturing him in detention, even when his case is no longer. It's a whole lot of mess. And that is why we continue to come back here to remind everybody in that country, in the zoo called Nigeria, that the Fulanis are using the name of Nigeria to perpetrate evil. And when you see yourself being treated like an idiot everywhere you go, you don't understand, because you have allowed the Fulanis to continue to use your name. For those of you who are answering Nigerians, the Fulani continue to use your name to perpetrate evil, illegality, break international laws, and they are doing it in your name. They are not doing it in the name of Fulani Republic. They are doing it in the name of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which some of you are proud of. And you are not even speaking out. You are not challenging them. You are not telling them what they are doing is illegal. For some of you who say that you are Nigerian citizens, the Fulanis are using your name to dent the image of your country, of your so-called country. The Fulanis have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose in the case of Nigeria, because they don't even have that identity. These are foreigners. They are not indigenous. They are foreigners to Nigeria. So however they use the name, however they rubbish the name, for them it doesn't matter. They use the authority. They use the constitution. They abuse everything abusable in your name. In the name of some of the Igbos who still believe that they are Nigerian. In the name of some of the Yorubas who are still answering one Nigeria. The Fulanis are using your name, your Nigerian name, to perpetrate evil, to carry extraordinary rendition, carry out assassinations, carry out killings. And you are proud, saying you are a Nigerian. But one minor ethnic group, foreigners for that matter, are rubbishing this your name that you are proud of. How do you expect the world to respect you when you present your rubbish international passport in foreign airports? Why can't they treat you as a terrorist when the Fulanis are the terrorists are representing you in power? That is one thing that the so-called one Nigerianists do not know. They do not understand. That a set of people have rubbished the name. They have messed up with that name called Nigeria. They have shown the world that Nigeria as an entity has no value. Nigeria does not have any value, not because of activities of IPOB opening the eye of the world. No, not just because of that. Nigeria have no value today because especially this APC Fulani jihadist government that we have today have committed so much atrocities in the name of Nigeria, using the name of Nigeria to carry extraordinary rendition, using the name of the state of Nigeria that you are claiming one Nigeria. That name that you feel you are representing, that you are an ambassador, the Fulanis are using the name to perpetrate evil, to carry out their own personal agenda. The Fulanis are using your identity to carry out their own Fulani agenda. And you are there watching them, pretending as if everything is fine. Now the question is, of what is the essence of going to Kenya to kidnap somebody, to carry out an illegal abduction of somebody, when Kenya has a legal system that will be followed? Does it mean that they do not know that they are supposed to follow the Kenyan legal system to bring Mazi NNamdi Kanu back? They know, but they choose the shortest cut. The Fulani chose the shortest cut. They don't want to go through that legal process. And these are the people who will tell you that you must obey the law. But they are the number one lawbreakers. Not just locally. This is what we are not saying is not breaking the law locally. Just imagine what they are doing locally. If they can have that temerity, if they can have that level of courage and confidence to break international law of extradition, if they can have that courage to use if the Fulanis can have the courage to use the instrument of state to commit this level of crime at international level, tell me what they will be doing locally. It's a very simple question. Just imagine if the Fulanis can use the name of one Nigeria to commit international crime against humanity by extraordinary rendition of Mazi NNamdi Kanu from Kenya. Just imagine what they will now be doing locally, where they have all the authority in their hand. And that is why you see them using government instruments to wipe out communities. To wipe out communities. Locally, they are using the Nigerian instrument to wipe out communities. Send indigenous people to IDP camps and occupy the place. We see them using government logistics like helicopter to supply arms to their militants inside in the bush. You know, so it is very, very important that everybody who says they are Nigerian understand the implication. The implication of what the Fulanis are doing with your name. For you who is answering proud Nigerian, it is important that you understand the implication of what Fulanis are doing with your name, with the one Nigeria identity. Using it to perpetrate international crimes, carry out different kind of criminal activities all over the world. At government level, using instrument of state to carry out terrorism. They use the instrument of state to sponsor criminals and terrorists to massacre innocent people and take over people's land locally. And they went as far as going internationally to kidnap people all over the place. If it was possible for them to kidnap Sunday Igboho, they would have still done that. But based on the circumstances, based on the fact that they have already made mistake in the case of Mazi NNamdi Kanu, they now started trying to be careful not to repeat the same thing with Sunday Igboho, because that was also the same plan, to kidnap Sunday Igboho and bring him back to Nigeria. These are the atrocities of the Fulanis in 21st century, 2021. And people are just moving like sheep, like goat, as if, they are being injected or something have been blown into the air that people can no longer reason. And here we are, people even begging them, kneeling down, begging them, say, please, please, please don't do this. Good people are now begging criminals because they have been able to hijack power and take the authority. They use the instrument of the state to perpetrate evil around the world. The question is, why didn't this Fulani in power today, why didn't they go through that? If so much, like Muhammad Buhari claimed that he will not tamper with judicial process in the case of Mazi NNamdi Kanu, but you have already violated judicial process in Kenya. The same Muhammad Buhari who said that he would not tamper with judicial process in the case of NNamdi Kanu have already violated judicial process internationally in Kenya by extraordinary rendition of the same. Now you want to now respect the judiciary when you have even violated judicial process at international level by kidnapping somebody in another soil, in the soil of another country. And you illegally transport that person through whatever means back to Nigeria without going through. There was no record of Mazi NNamdi Kanu being arrested officially in Kenya. It was all illegal arrest, abduction, kidnap, and extraordinary rendition. And people are taking it as if it's just a normal thing. People are afraid to call it the real name, what it is. It is even we, Biafrans, that are even reminding the world, reminding Britain, reminding America, that what Nigeria did in Kenya was extraordinary rendition. We even saw a whole CNN saying that Mazi NNamdi Kanu was extradited from Kenya in one of the documentaries that I even have to do a clip to debunk and remind them that it is falsehood. Even CNN went ahead to endorse extraordinary rendition of Mazi NNamdi Kanu by making it look as if it was a proper extradition process that it followed, that he was arrested and extradited. So you now start asking, where are all the conspiracies coming from? That people cannot see the truth the way it is. That extraordinary rendition, even the British government have failed to call it its real name. That this is a crime. You don't go in another man's land, in a foreign country, abduct somebody, bring him back without going through legal process. So that is the reason we continue to repeat it, because we don't want a situation where we'll be in a hurry to just start talking about other things. We'll continue to bring people's mind back. And not that the extraordinary rendition, they were not even ashamed, or they didn't even feel remorse of the crime they've committed in Kenya. They still came back with more impunity, kept him in DSS dungeon, and they are not even making provisions for him. They even refuse him clothes to wear. They refuse him his prayer materials. They even continue in the same impunity. Na Fulani Ngogobio. These people, these Fulanis are heartless. These are not people you deal with kids' glove. I'm telling you. Despite their atrocity in Kenya, they still came back to Nigeria and even showing more muscle. They are even showing more muscle, threatening everybody, threatening brimstone and fire that, so that people will be begging them. Some people are even saying they will go and beg them. And this is the reason why we have to reevaluate our position in Nigeria. If not for anything, this event that have happened in the past few months is enough for people to ask themselves, is this the kind of Nigeria you want for your children in the future? The kind of history that the Fulanis are living in Nigeria, the kind of history, very bad history they are leaving behind. Is it the kind of history your children will grow up to meet? That that the Fulanis can use the Nigerian instrument of state to go and kidnap people. And nobody seemed to, give it attention. It doesn't matter. Well, what is important is that after all, they have brought him back by whatever means for him to start his prosecution. We are not talking about the Operation Python dance that was carried out after he was granted bail in Afaruku Ibeku by the same court. People were massacred and nobody asked questions. And nobody asked questions. It can't be NNamdi Kanu tomorrow. It can still be somebody else next tomorrow. It's NNamdi Kanu today. And you are saying, not be NNamdi Kanu anyhow. Tomorrow it will be another person's turn, where anybody can be kidnapped anywhere in the world. And the world is not even seeing it as the world have not come out in strong terms to condemn it. That this is a violation of international law. That means that anybody can be kidnapped anytime, anywhere, at will. It becomes normal. It becomes normal. Because now small, they take start. So somebody can just wake up anytime, any day and say, okay, this guy, criticized me, or this guy did, where is he? Where can we get him? They say, go in there for Canada. They will just take plane, knock door, kidnap and put him for plane, return him back. No, just like that. And the world is just sitting back, watching, as that it is normal. America is there. They have not come out to say, no. How can you go and extraordinarily rendition somebody without going through due process? Britain have not. None of these countries have stood up and said, no. As much as we hate Biafrans, because I know that they might hate Biafrans, but it is not done. It is not done. And shouldn't be done. We now live in a lawless world. The Fulanis have now created a lawless world. The world have now given the Fulani go ahead to do whatever they like. The world is now... So what is the essence of making the law? So we are now living in old Wild West. What is the essence of making the law? What is the essence of the international law? If somebody can wake up and break it and there are no consequences, then there should not be laws anywhere. We should suspend the global law. We should suspend every international law. Let people live freely and do whatever they want to do. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can be kidnapped and returned back in Kenya, and the world is keeping quiet, then there shouldn't be need for the law, for the world to make laws. They should suspend every international law, suspend every local law. Let us live like Wild West, where people can do whatever they like. Because you cannot place double standard. That when it comes to me, the law exists. But when it comes to somebody else, the law does not exist. So for the Fulanis, the law doesn't exist and the world have accepted it. No, Fulani, they don't obey the law. And the world have to accept them as lawbreakers all over the world. The world, America have to accept that Fulanis don't obey the law. Britain have to accept that Fulani don't obey the law. Russia have to accept that Fulanis don't obey the law. That the world, the law, international law is not meant for the Fulanis. It is meant for certain people. That as far as you are Fulani, you don't have to obey the law. In Nigeria, the same thing. Locally, they don't obey the law. They do whatever they like. But when the law falls in their favor, you see them say, we don't interfere with judicial process. You know, as long as it is not in their favor, they will break the law. But when it is in their favor, they obey the law. Is it the world want to live in? It is a question we are putting out there. If this is the kind of world that America want to see, where Fulanis can go to anywhere and kidnap people and bring them back and do whatever they like, is it the kind of world the British? Is it the kind of world that Russia want to see? Is it the kind of world China want to see? Because the Fulanis, you know, they have an exclusivity when it comes to breaking the law. I'll be putting the line open. I want to put the line open for those who want to call in and contribute. We have about 20 minutes to go. And the number is on the screen, +39 388 177 9665. I also want to pin it down here for those who want to make their contribution to call in. I'm not going to take much of your time. You will call in and make your contribution. Call in and make your contribution. The question we are asking is, the extraordinary rendition of Mazi NNamdi Kanu from Kenya, is it admissible? Have we come to terms that, okay, let us live like that? Let us accept it. Then if we have to ask, if the world is okay, let us accept it as normal, as the new normal, then there should be need for the world to suspend the global constitution so that people can feel free to commit whatever crime they want to commit. Because you cannot cheat Peter to pay Paul. You cannot rob Peter to pay Paul. If the international community says that, okay, we have decided that with the event of the Biafrans and NNamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, that it is normal for somebody to be kidnapped and not go through legal process, they should let us know. Then on that basis, we cannot suspend global constitution and say, okay, there are no more international treaties, no more international law. Let us live like, old Wild West where people can do whatever they like. Not that tomorrow somebody will be extraordinary rendition and you not come out to condemn it. I know, but America will not come out and speak BB grammar. That is partiality. That is not justice. That is not justice. So the failure of the world to hold Nigeria accountable, to hold the Fulanese accountable, because when you talk about Nigeria, you are generalizing it. But it is also very important that the so-called Nigerians understand that the Fulanese are using their name. So they are also accountable to the actions of the Fulanese. The Yorubas who say that they are one Nigerianist, they love Nigeria. The Igbos, who say they are one Nigerianist, they love Nigeria. Ishekiri, Urobo, all the tribes, it falls on your responsibility. Whatever Fulani does, you also share part of it. Of that, as long as you say you are a Nigerian. Today, people are not calling Fulani by their name. What they are saying is Nigeria. And that is where Fulani have hid themselves. They hide under Nigeria to perpetrate evil. Because that is what they need. They just need that entity called Nigeria to be able to perpetrate their evil. So when you talk about disintegration of Nigeria, it affects them. Because now, if they have to do anything, they have to do it with their own real identity. But as long as that identity of Nigeria covers them, they can use it to do whatever evil, commit whatever crime, and they will say it is Nigeria. Because they are doing it in the name of Nigeria. After all, the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was done in the name of Nigeria, not in the name of Fulani, even if it is the Fulanis that perpetrated the evil. But they did it in the name of Nigeria. So you cannot hold them responsible. You hold that Nigerian, the entity, you hold them responsible, including those who are ignorant of the devices of the Fulanis, the devices of the enemy. These are the things we want to bring forward for people to understand. That it is beyond Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The extraordinary rendition is not because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Not just because of him. But because of what is also to come, because the standard have now been set. The precedent have been put in place. That tomorrow, anybody can now wake up and go and kidnap anybody anywhere. Put them in a private jet and bring them back. And that is why we continue to talk about it. We must continue to talk about the extraordinary rendition of the leader of IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because they would not want us to talk about it. The worst thing you can do to them is to talk about it. Talking about it, they want us to move away from that angle. So that they can paint the picture that it was a normal arrest and extradition. And that is why every day we'll continue to drag them back to face the reality of their actions. So that the more we say it, the more it sinks into the consciousness of mankind. The more it sinks into the consciousness of people who do not even know the truth. Because they have told the world that they arrested and extradited Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is the picture that they are painting, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was extradited from Kenya. Just like CNN tried to report that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was extradited from Kenya. Mazi, you're welcome to the program. Good evening.
Good evening. From my end here is good morning. With just few minutes to 9 a.m. here from Sydney, Australia. My name is Solomon Peter. Mazi Patrick, thank you for the presentation of today. And this is something we cannot stop talking about, because this is the worst things that the worst crime that happened in this 21st century, and which the world should not keep quiet about, and which every individuals in every locality should not keep quiet about, because we should be more concerned of the thing that protects our life, the life we live in our local settings. We should be very more concerned about it, about the safety of our family, the safety of our friends, and the safety of our communities. That there is things that could not be allowed. We have come too far to allow some certain individuals in control of governmental instruments to come across and destroy the things that has been of meaningful use for our families, for our relationship. So we talk about it often, that right now when you talk about your wife went out and you're expecting her to come back, is because of the law, that the safety that the law provided is what, because anybody could go out and could not come back. When there is lawlessness, when people were allowed to do what they wanted to do at any time. Now, for you to guarantee the safety of your family and your people, then you need to talk about the law that is in place. You need to remind the world about the law that is in place. So, and that is what we are talking in the situation of Mazi, where Nigeria has gone as far as breaking an international law, and breaking the local law, and breaking their own law also, to kidnap Mazi Kanu from Kenya and extradition him to Nigeria, and they subject him under torture and persecution as we speak right now. So these are the terrible things that are happening, and if we should keep quiet on this note, how do we ensure the safety of our family and friends? Because this is obvious that in this 21st century, an international law was broken, and the whole world was sitting, and the whole mainstream medias were looking, and these things is happening, and no one is voicing out, no one is talking. This is very, very bad. It jeopardizes the security, the safety of our life, and the safety of our family. That international law can be broken, and then also local law can be broken in order for government, or in order for a group of people who are using the instrument of government to have their way. This is unjustifiable, and that's why we keep talking about it. Okay, at the same time, now we are looking at a man that we are unjustly adopted, now kept in a detention for almost 5 months, getting to 5 months now. And the same man we are denied his fundamental human right, which was just an accused person, and they have denied him food. They have denied him changing clothes. They have denied him even practicing his religion. They have denied him even freedom of association. So these are the things that are melted against Mazi Kanu. And the government are using that very method to instigate violence amongst the people in the country, which might feel injustice, which might feel that persecution. So we keep talking about it, and we keep telling the world that they should stand up to this responsibility, to their responsibility, because this is not just about Mazi Kanu. Now we are talking about our fundamental human right. We are talking about the treaties that guides everyone, that makes the world to be a safety, that make us not to be a war, that makes the present world not to be in crisis. That is what we are talking about here. That Nigeria should not be allowed to take such an advantage of using the instrumental of government to destroy what kept people on safety, to destroy the safety of people, to destroy the security of people. So it's very, very important.
Yeah, because it's important that the world know that Nigeria is a threat. The Fulanis, because like I said, Mazi, earlier, that the Fulanis are using the instrument of state to perpetrate evil. They are taking advantage of the instrument before them to commit crime against humanity, break international laws. Mazi Solomon.
And that is why we are bringing to their notice that Nigeria is a terrorist country. Nigeria is a terrorist country, and the world has to recognize them as a terrorist country. As it stands right now, they have been a sponsor of Boko Haram, bandits, Fulani herdsmen, which are graded as the fourth most dangerous terrorist group. So Nigeria has been a sponsor of all this terrorism, and they have proven it in their own acts, in their own actions at Kenya. Kidnapped a man illegally, and they extraditioned him to Nigeria and denied him his fundamental human right to his medical doctor, to his medical aid. They denied him right to eat, right to food. They denied him right to practice his religion. They denied him.
And these are issues that are against the law.
These are the issue of these are constitutional issues. Nigeria is breaking his constitution. Nigeria is breaking her own law. Her own law. Breaking her own law.
So Mazi, when you talk about the lawlessness in Nigeria today, it is as a result of the Fulani activity that is bringing lawlessness. Because if the government cannot obey law of the land, then how do you expect the citizens to obey the law? If you as a government institution cannot obey the law, how do you expect the citizens to obey the law? Mazi, go ahead.
That is it. Government are the ones sponsoring the lawlessness. They are the ones sponsoring terrorism. So they are the one sponsoring breakdown of law and order by themselves. And that is the why the world has to speak out. Because we are not talking about 5,000 people here or 5 million people here. We are talking about 200 million people that the Fulani has hijacked the instrument of the government and be using it to sponsor terrorism, and be using it to sponsor the breakdown of law and order, and using it to sponsor even breaking their own constitution.
Mazi, when we talk about the world speaking out, Mazi, let me bring you to this point. When you talk about the world speaking out, I think it should go beyond speaking out. It should get to the point where the world have to start punishing the perpetrators of this evil. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. They should be made to give account.
By them,
yes.
That is what we mean by them speaking out, taking the rightful measure against Nigeria. Start sanctioning Nigeria, knowing that Nigeria is trying to sponsor the world crisis. Nigeria is trying to sponsor the world crisis. The country that has 200 million people are the people we are talking about that are being the direct sponsor of Boko Haram, terrorism, breakdown of law and order, breaking international law. This is the world crisis. This is the world crisis. So Nigeria intentionally, by the Fulanis, they are trying to sponsor the world crisis. And the world must rise up in the occasion. They must rise up on the occasion to make sure that Nigeria, they start sanctioning Nigeria right now.
And the individuals that are involved, most especially.
Yes. So they start putting sanctions in Nigeria. So they start right now to follow up Nigeria, because if they allow it, then it's going to explode. The war crisis is going to migrate from Nigeria. It's going to migrate from Nigeria. And if they don't take care, they will use Nigeria to destroy Africa. They will use Nigeria to destroy West Africa. Totally. And this is why everybody in West Africa has to reason up. These are going to be a massive crisis that the Fulanis are sponsoring right now with the instrument of the government. And the instrument of the government is going to affect every government in Africa. It's going to affect 200 million people we are talking about. So it's very, very important that people should begin to look into the things that Nigerians are doing by disobeying their own law, disobeying their own court orders, and they are smiling over it. They begin to look into Nigeria, stepping into breaking international law to adopt somebody, to kidnap somebody across their own country, break an international law, international treaty, and kidnap a man and subject him under inhuman treatment, deny him and strike him of every human right that he stands to enjoy. These are very, very serious issues, and we are leading the campaign that the world should stand out for this. It's not about the suffering of the man that is under their control, but it's about the crisis that this very particular action of Nigeria is sponsoring, is preparing right now. The crisis that is preparing is what we are crying for, is what we are calling for. That people should stand up right now and they stop it at the point where it is with Mazi and Kanu, than allowing it to escalate, than allowing it to become the world crisis. I know that people have that mindset of trying to relax, that nothing will happen. But everything that has happened on this very world, they always start from a spot. They always start from a spot. And why it happened is because people neglect it. People don't think about it. People take it very common, and it will spread from one point to another, and it becomes the world problem. Just imagine what happened in the pandemic. The world is still suffering today for COVID-19. He started at a spot. People thought is a peculiar problem to China, and they are busy. They pay less concern. But look at how it has crippled almost most of the economy in the world. Because when people are calling for for action to be taken to prevent the major crisis, people will feel reluctant. They will feel it hasn't come to our end. It's not our concern. But when that problem eventually explodes, it will spread all over. It will become a major concern to the world. It will begin to damage world economy. It will begin to claim more life. Okay, look at that simple negligence in the China COVID-19 that started somewhere in the China at a very particular spot. Look at the negligence of the world towards that. And they now think about the life that this thing has gone to claim in Europe, that gone to claim in America. Millions of lives, just because people assume to neglect crisis when it's being perpetrated. When it's being perpetrated, they will say it's Nigerian problem, it's a Biafran problem, it's NNamdi Kanu problem. They reduce the problem to a very tiny spot, and they allow it to gain momentum. And at the end of the day, it becomes the world crisis. Nigerian problem is going to be the world crisis. We are warning. They are growing terrorists. They are growing terrorists, and they are sponsoring terrorism. They have gone as far as breaking international law. Yes, they have gone as far as breaking international law. They have gone as far as disobeying their own laws, becoming leading a country of more than 200 million people into a lawlessness state where laws are not observed, laws are not paid. Lord, even the court orders are not even taken into consideration. DSS, the Secret Service of Nigerian police or whatever, they are not obeying court orders. They are not obeying Nigerian constitution. Who they are formed to be the instrument of the law, but they are not obeying the law. And we are saying that this is the world crisis. This is COVID 2021 or 2022. These are going to be the world crisis, the worst world crisis that is going to happen, that will break down Africa in the next 500 years. That will break Africa, that will break West Africa in the next 500 years. And how do we save life? How do we save that situation? People must come out right now to speak about this, to take the rightful measure against Nigerian actions, against Nigerian actions as to address this very matter. Mazi and Kanu should not be subjected under this inhuman treatment by DSS. In the first place, they don't have that power to keep him in their detentions. They don't. They have to answer the world how they managed to break an international law and then get a man from Kenya and bring him back to Nigeria. When they try it with Umaru Diko, it backfires on them. It backfires on them. But this very one that they did right now, they succeed, they should be answering queries. Why should they be touring on the way of breaking international law? Why should they be crook in the level of breaking laws? Why? Where is the safety of the people? Your people travel to Nigeria, travel to other parts of the world. Where is their safety? What guarantees their safety if Nigerians cannot maintain their law? If Nigerians cannot maintain the treaty they sign with other nations? That's why we call it a crisis. That is a sponsor, that is sponsoring terrorism. That is taking side with terrorism. Very, very bad. That is going to affect your family. That is going to affect your country. That is going to affect your state. That is going to affect your own safety, because they have adopted that attitude of not respecting the law, their law, and the international treaties. And that's why we are here. And we want to make sure and bring the update to the world. Every maltreatment that they are giving to Mazi and Kanu is going to expose Nigeria. Is going to expose Nigeria. And we must carry out this campaign. Biafrans, you should not be distracted. We must be very, very focused. We must be very, very focused. Because this is the worst offense. This is the worst offense.
Mazi, I think it is even time that on individual levels we have to start petitioning these individuals who are involved in this crime, because the problem is that these criminals hide under that entity called Nigeria to perpetrate crime. But we must now start identifying these individuals. Like in a country where I live, I have the right, you understand what I'm saying, Mazi?
Yes.
To go and gather all the names of the people who are in this government and petition them to the Italian government on individual level. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Referring to the case of Mazi and NNamdi Kanu.
I understand what you are saying, but do you know the difference with a civilized world and a third world country like Nigeria, where things are being done. Why we are bringing this thing to the spot of light is because it is not a small country. It's not a small, it's not a country where small number of people we are involved, okay, where the world can say, okay, we can manage their crisis very easily. But we are looking at a country that has a very large number of people.
Mazi, what I'm trying to say here, if you can listen to me, is the Attorney General Malami, for example.
The point,
yes,
the point you are making is this: who are the government you are petitioning to? There is no integrity. There is no government. There is no government, because now what we are looking at Italy is that there is a government.
No, Mazi, okay? Here, let me tell you how it works here. For example, I don't know how it is in Australia. I can write a petition as an individual, as I am now. I can write a petition against Buhari as an individual. I can add the name of Malami. I can add the name of the DSS chief and petition them individually on the crime they are committing against Mazi NNamdi Kanu on individual level and present it to the Italian authority. And what they do is that they put their name in the system. Anytime they step in here, right at the airport, they stop them and question them on these allegations. That is what I'm saying. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I do. Your point is very, very clear. And that is the part of the effort that Biafrans are making all over the world. This kind of petitions has already been going on in most countries. The Wia Malami and the rest of the DSS members and also Buhari has been petitions in different countries. Do you understand? But even the questions you keep asking in those countries which they have been petitioned, I know even right there in British, there have been petitions, but you see them flow in and out. Now, does it mean that the world are buying into the corrupt nature of Nigeria? And that is the questions we keep asking. And that is the reason why we at this very moment are not keeping quiet. We keep asking the world questions. I said, does it mean they are not aware? Does it mean that UN are not aware? Does it mean Americans are not aware that Nigeria break an international law and they are keeping the man in which they break the international law on his head? They are keeping him under detentions and at the same time subjecting him under inhuman treatment. Does it mean that this news is not coming across them? Does it mean that they are not aware? That's why we keep asking questions. And why are they aware? Why are they keeping quiet over it? Why are they not speaking about it? Why are they not concerned? Why is their intellectuals not writing and making publications about it? Why is people not concerned about the fundamental human rights that are being denied? And that is why we are here, to ask them questions and for them to also understand that we are fully aware, and we are fully aware that they are not doing what they're supposed to do in their own position. So that is why we are here. That everything we have to do as individuals, we need to intensify it. We need to intensify it. And we need to shy away from distraction of this very period of time that we are in. And the focus to the main point. To the main point. We focus. And we need to do the repetitions. So that if the word has in ticket, their ear, if there has a blocked ear, their ear has to open to hear this. We have to repeatedly do this program. We have to repeatedly.
Yeah, Mazi, definitely. We'll continue. Even we'll be coming back tomorrow on the same issue. I will continue to talk about it. The extraordinary rendition, the ill treatment of Mazi NNamdi Kanu. We'll have to continue to hammer it so that the world would give us the necessary attention. Mazi, we'll have to start rounding this program off. We've exceeded the required time.
Thank you so much, Mazi Patrick. I only call in to make my own contributions. And what I say to Biafrans is this, that none of us should give up to this very fight. We must intensified every slight effort we are making to bring to the notice of the world things that we are not working well and things that is not being done well by Nigerians, bringing to the notice of the whole world the crime that Nigerians are committing against humanity, the crime they are committing against human rights. We must be bringing to the notice of the world, and we must be intensifying our effort. We must intensify our effort. So knowing quite well that it's in our hands to be able to shine light into this very crime that Nigerians are committing. And we continue to do it until something is being done about it. Until we secure the unconditional release from Mazi, until Nigerians are brought to book about the crimes that they are committing against humanity. So that is what we continue to do. Thank you very much, Mazi Patrick, for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, Mazi Solomon. Thank you very much. Thank you, and God bless you. Guys, I want to say thank you for holding on to this program. Thank you for being with us. It's been a wonderful day. I've seen your comment. I recognize your comment and your presence. Please share this program, make it go round. Until I see you again, I want to say have a wonderful evening and God bless you.
Obodo kenenu Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Kanyi kenebenu Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Amadike Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Ika kugondi loyo, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Amadike Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Odogwa nebula buke, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Ika bugondi loyi, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Endi loyi na chozudo, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Manoke suko, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Umu Biafra Ghana, Nnamdi Kanu, Anyi Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Ikolobia bi n'obodo a mmadụ anọzi ikpe ya. Egwu ndị Ikolobia o Biafra bala anyị. Obele nwa onye afọ ibeku Chukwu zitere anyị ya. Chukwu okike abịa ma zitelie ka ọ bịa tọpụ ụmụ Biafra na-abụ ka ọ tọpụ anyị na-abụ Naịjirịa. Chukwu zitere anyị ya. Ma ndị ilofe ajụziri ajụ mana anyị nwekwa mmeri. Babụlụ obele nwa na 2015 ụbọchị enyanụ anyị wee bebe ife dị n'ime ya. Anyị wee jebe ụlọ ikpe chọbazie ndị mkpọrọ anyị na mkpọrọ, ndị kpọchiri anyị ka anyị na-achọ anya furu ofe ọnụ n'ụwa gị malụ afa na-agbazi ọsọ na-achụzi fa mana fa marọ na anyị nwe mmeli n'ife ọbụla anyị tinyere aka n'ụwa na-agala anyị ya ka anyị ji bụrụ ụmụ Chukwu okike abịama Nnamdi Kanu kedụzi ife mesilu mee odogwu na-egbula abụga abatago obodobo nwa onye afara ife agbala nze na akpọghị onikalata ife mena ihe ole n'ụwa ka ibili ị ga-adị ndụ ole n'ụwa fụ Biafra His Majesty onye olu mkpana mụ na-ekwu akụọ m ọfọ na nne ị ga-afụ ife ọma ebe isi na anyị ga-enwele onwe anyị wee bulie n'isi ife ọma ga-abụ nke iyi ngwanụ kenenu Kanu Nnamdi Kanu Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike Biafra Nnamdi Kanu Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike agbala nze na-ekwu